Recording in progress.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ben and Nate's Questions That We Ask Massage Therapists on the Internet. I'm one half of your host, Nate Fay, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Mr. Ben Stone, and we're here to ask you guys questions on the Internet. We love to have fun. We love to get serious. Most importantly, your answers are what sculpts this show.
We ask questions on a Facebook page that we call Ben and Nate's Questions. We ask massage therapists on the Internet. That's a mouthful, but we want you to go there, interact with the questions. We will talk about your answers on the show, and that's how we make you part of the show. And we love having you as part of the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our podcast show, episode 54.
54, buddy.
54.
And happy New Year to you, bringing our second podcast of the new year, and we have a pretty awesome question to ask the massage therapist tonight. But before we get into that, just a quick hello to you, sir. And how was everything on your end? And was Santa Claus or whatever you celebrate? Did they visit you, Ben?
You know, we had a really good holiday. My boss gave me both Fridays off of work, so that beyond that over anything, that was fantastic. But yeah, how about you? How were your holidays?
Well, my boss is a prick and he made me work both Fridays. So I only got Wednesday and Thursday off. Total Scrooge, this guy. And I didn't even have a company party this year, Ben.
Same.
But I am gearing up. You know, I've been sort of saying for a while, probably too long, call me a liar, but it just sounds better than 18 years, 19 years. But my official 20th anniversary is coming up in a couple months in April. So I am thinking about having a party, a company party. I think making a company pin for myself, the 20-year pin.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Maybe some sort of wall clock or something to
Who knows?
To show how much time you've devoted to the company. The company thanks you for your time.
That's right. That's right. I cue Pink Floyd song. So, but yes, holidays were good, and looking forward to another awesome year of podcasting with you, doing what you and I love to do, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, we just recorded a while ago our review of the podcast journey, and we're into the next question, which I just lost it, but I'm going to pull it up here and we'll dive into it. Here it is. So the question we're going to talk about today is, and I'll read it straight off the Facebook page. It reads, are massage influencers and social media experts helping the profession grow or just spreading misinformation? Do you agree or disagree?
Wow.
So I want to try something here, and I want to just go into, give me like 20 seconds of your gut reaction from this question. What's your gut reaction, Nate?
My gut reaction right off the bat are social media experts are just, putting a lot of crap in my clients' ears that I just feel like I have to constantly undo. And with that being said, I think it's just, keeping people in low back pain, neck pain for a lot longer than they need to be, partially because of these influencers, telling them that they just have to do 3 best exercises and things like that, or buy this fancy tool to stick in your psoas, and that's all you need to do. So, that doesn't quite answer the question, but my 20 seconds is up.
That was a good gut reaction, though. I like that gut reaction.
Thank you. Well, what's your gut reaction? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Well, I changed my gut reaction after reading the question again, because it says, are they helping the profession or spreading misinformation? And then it asks agree or disagree. So it's kind of a confusing statement there. But yeah. So grammar mistakes and all that aside, my gut reaction is I'm just not in favor of the, like you said, These are the top three things to help with your headaches. You need to do this to help with your low back pain. I just feel like it's not helping the profession and spreading possible dangerous information. That's my gut reaction.
And it's, and that I like that. And it's wild too, because I don't know, call me a conspiracy theorist here, but it's gotten to the point, Ben, where I think of something and it starts showing up on my Instagram reels. If you and I talked about prairie dogs for the next 5 minutes, I'm probably gonna, when I lay in bed and just mindlessly scroll, it's gonna be all videos of prairie dogs. But needless to say, because of what we do for a living, when I'm mindlessly scrolling, I get a lot of videos of chiropractors, massage therapists, physical therapists, and everybody kind of wants, everyone's trying to be a star on the internet and, for some reason garner tens of thousands of views. Of course, here you and I want to be stars in the podcasting world and get to 100 episodes. But, that viral video, and, is it this misinformation that's causing people to watch? Have you seen the spiritual chiropractor? Has she shown up on your page yet?
No, but I'm sure she will now.
She will now. Well, it's wild. This woman filmed, she calls herself some sort of something. It's not even spiritual chiropractor, it's something. And, she's not even touching people. She's just like, and she's making noises like a karate person. She's like doing all this wild stuff. If you know what I'm talking about, comment below, as an influencer would say. But I mean, again, she's got 10,000, tens of thousands of views. And of course, all the comments, most of them are making fun of her, right? And how ridiculous it is. But what does she care? She probably is monetized. She's probably getting a fat check from Instagram. And somehow she's probably got a line down the street now of people from around the world that want to see her. And then there's this other woman. And I'm going to get to a point here. And I think she's a physical therapist, and she films all these videos. She's like a fascial expert, and she's just doing these techniques on people that look just so painfully uneducated. And she's like, "Oh, I'm just getting this shit out of their shoulder blades." And she's got like this New York thing. And again, I know people will know who I'm talking about. Tens of thousands of views, selling out classes left and right. But here's something that's been on my mind for a while, Ben. Back to influencers. There's a trend right now, and there's been a trend, right? And you and I have talked about the pain science stuff. And you and I have kind of, talked about the different ways to think about what we do and what we don't do. And there's a lot of therapists out there that just want to kind of continuously put out this information of, everything that we do is, you're not, I laugh at people who say they're aligning people. I laugh at people who say they're doing this, and memes and videos, and again, tens of thousands of views. And it's like, but when does that stuff, like, you know, it's like, is that helpful? Is that helpful to the industry? Is that helpful to a young therapist up and coming? Is that helpful to somebody that's been doing this 20 or 30 years? I don't know.
Those are good questions. I think the thing also you have to think about is uh well, we didn't really define what we mean by influencer, but
Sure.
also what is the goal of the influencer? Because if their goal is just to create an impact and to get views, does validity and credibility matter? Do they have to be right? No, they just have to be
Oh,
entertaining.
yeah.
They have to hold people's attention for 7 seconds, and then they make $1 for every 7 seconds. I don't know that that's how it works, but maybe someday I'll find out if I can hold someone's attention for longer than 7 seconds. But that I think that's part of it, and I referred to that earlier is like it's playing the game. It's you have to put yourself out there enough where people pay attention to you and maybe start to follow you because they're entertained. And so basically social media is about entertainment. It's not about education. It can be about education, but there are no there are no guidelines or anybody policing what's being put out there. So I don't know what is a massage therapy influencer? Is it someone who is in the healthcare field, or is it just someone who is, hey, I learned this by reading some encyclopedia book. If you press here, here, and here, you'll take care of your headaches.
Well, I'm going to define that for you. I'm
Okay.
doing some quick, I'm going to do doing some quick research as we're talking.
Yay.
And by the way, right, you said 7 seconds. So let's just talk about this for a minute. Not 7 seconds, but a minute.
Okay.
When YouTube was evolving, you had 90 seconds to tell your story. The average commercial back in the 80s was 2 minutes long, right? So, like the Chuck Woolery, if you're old enough, if you're old guys like us, Chuck Woolery used to say, "I'll be back in two and two." That was a commercial. 2 minutes, 2 seconds, average commercial time. YouTube came along, you had 90 seconds. 90 seconds got whittled down to 60 seconds to now Reels. They said you can make your best reel in 30 seconds, and you had 30 seconds to hold somebody's attention. And yes, Ben, now you have, by the way, you said seven, you have 3 seconds. That's going to make or break somebody watching the rest of your reel. The first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds, you know, and in some people's definition, 3 seconds might be a long time. Ha ha ha. That's an
We need to keep
adult.
this PG.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, the three pillars of an influencer, according to Mr. Jem and I.
Okay.
So I'm going to just read some stuff here for us. So the influencer is somebody that has the power to affect purchasing decisions, opinions, behaviors of others that somehow have authority, knowledge, position, or a unique relationship with an audience. There's three pillars of an influencer: a defined niche. So we're talking about a defined niche tonight in the massage community. So they aren't just online, they're experts and enthusiasts in a specific area. So in this case, massage therapy. They built a following that actively engages with content. And now I like this one, the power of persuasion. Unlike a traditional celebrity who might be admired from afar, an influencer has a parasocial relationship with their audience. So you do, and I like this, you get a sense of a one-to-one friendship with these people. You feel like you know them, right? Especially maybe the quote unquote influencers that we watch over and over again. So all of a sudden they feel more like a friend to you. And so now these are the 2026 standards. And so 2026 standards are this. The industry no longer looks strictly at follower counts, but these categories help to define the scope. So they call nano 1,000 to 10,000 followers, okay? And micro 10 to 100,000, which is considered the sweet spot for brands. Macro 100K to a million, broad reach professional content creators. Mega celeb 1 million plus, massive awareness, and at that point looked at as celebrity. Influencer, the primary value was persona and opinion. Content creator, their primary value is their skill. So we can actually define this even more with how we talked about this. And eventually, what we're going to see is a virtual evolution. And then we're going to start seeing AI generated influencers coming down the pipe. So, a content creator, you and I probably could be considered content creators. Maybe. Certainly when I market myself for Dalton Myoskeletal, I would probably be looked at as a content creator. So that was a mouthful, Ben.
That is, I'm processing a lot of things.
Sorry, that was a spitfire.
Yeah. Um, so I'm gonna go back to some of the training I had. I was in the army for a while. I'm gonna go back to some of the training. I had some leadership training, and they talked about the three basic traits that make a leader. The first one was a legitimate authority, so someone's higher rank than you. That's legitimate. But then, and that one's not as important for this. But I think the other two are kind of important. You have someone who's an expert, leadership, which means they know a lot about what's going on. They continually, you look up to the people who know more about massage than you do, so you consider them industry leaders. And then you also have people who are charismatic. They may not know as much, but they're the life of the party. They've always got something, they're just everybody seems to crowd around them because they're charismatic. They got this charisma. They're like an actor, and I see these types of things in some of these influencers. I see these types of traits in some of the influencers. Um, and I was meaning to go somewhere with this, and I got sidetracked again by all the stuff you
Yeah,
were talking about.
that's okay. And it's kind of an interesting thing too, because because we look at people on social media as now sort of like famous, but a lot of them are just that, right? They're really good actors that know how to sort of market an opinion in like a very flashy way. But at the end of the day, you know, what are these people really doing for a practice? I bet you none of them got a practice. You know what I mean? Like, or none of them even have like a successful practice. And I guarantee it. I would be willing to bet money on it. Always relating stuff back to the musician world. There was this drum guy and he would be looked at as an influencer by definition of what we just talked about. And I forget his handle, his Instagram handle, but I mean, he was just this flashy drummer. He would do all this really fast double bass stuff. He would be playing beats with one hand and his feet would be going a million miles per minute. And then he would be doing things like drinking coffee while playing these really flashy beats. And he would take traditional songs and sort of, use this technical skill that he had and play all over the place. Well, the reality is in the music world, nobody's going to hire this guy, right? Because bands that have, who's the real star of any band that you see, Ben? Is a guitar player, bass player, drummer, or singer?
Oh, it's the front man.
It's a frontman.
Yeah.
No frontman on this planet that's famous wants a drummer behind them showing them up. So anyway, Foo Fighters are looking for a drummer, right? Their drummer tragically passed away a while ago. They had a temporary touring drummer, and then they went on to look for a drummer. So now this guy was like, "Oh, hire me." And was, millions of followers on Instagram, millions of followers. There's no way Dave Grohl is hiring this guy to back him up because Dave Grohl is the star, right? So
Yeah.
this guy is going to be nothing more than a show off on Instagram. And maybe nothing wrong with that either if Instagram's sending you a check every month.
I have questions. I have lots of questions because that's what I do, come up with these questions. I'm gonna kind of I want to talk a little bit about influencers who in the massage industry that tell you you're doing something wrong or that you need their help in order to increase, the volume of your business, or to do this, you need to niche down, you need to do that. Um, are they helpful or are they not helpful in your opinion?
I just don't have the right data, Ben, because I've never used them. But at the same time, some of those type of influencers that I follow, I let me see your practice. What's your history? What's your client retention? What are your stats? That's what I want to know. It's real easy to go on the internet and tell massage therapists they should be charging 200 bucks an hour, right? It's easy to give advice, but it's not really, I don't think it's like real world stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's no different than a technique. Everybody's got just this individual experience. So, I mean, a mentor, a coach, right? Whatever, sure, but Yeah, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it when I see people like that. Not buying it at all.
So then let me ask you this. How does social media and maybe social media influencers, how do they help the industry, the massage industry?
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. And as a matter of fact, I think what it's doing, kind of like my gut reaction. Now, I use clients as an example. So it's hurting client information. It's hurting how clients come into my office and this re-education that sort of has to take place. But in terms of like other therapists, I think I don't think it's going to allow the industry to grow the way it needs to grow at all. And because again, fads and it's going to go away quickly. All this stuff's going to go away quickly. So here's an example. Maybe not a great example, but it's coming to mind. Remember scrapers? Everyone was big into tools and scraping.
Oh yeah.
So then the scrapers were getting bigger and more elaborate and more goofy looking. And then there was this triangular scraper, which now had a heating mechanism to it, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God, I got to have this, right? People spent a few $100, bought this tool. It's probably a coat hanger for the
Yeah.
average massage therapist now. And that's just a bummer. And it's interesting to me that massage therapists as a whole, I'm going to say something may not go over very well, but it's almost like there's just a lack of belief in ourselves, right? In our own skill and our own touch and our own knowledge that we have to chase the next thing in the hopes that it works because of an influencer, and then it becomes a coat hanger.
Oh, so have you ever had someone come to see you and say, "Hey, I saw this thing on TikTok where you do this maneuver and it helps my back. Will you do that to me?" Have you ever had someone come in and play out that scenario?
I've had so top three. So to answer your question, yes, I have. Yeah, absolutely. If you just do what this guy did or person did, now I got to step back and say, yep, I've seen that video and here's the deal. Or number two, now the opposite. I saw these videos of, this person on a table and they strap them down and they yank on their neck really hard. And you're not going to do that to me, are you? Because I don't want to come in and see you as a patient if you're going to do that to me. Nope, I'm not going to do that to you. Why do they do that? And how come you don't do it? Those are common questions. I said, well, I don't do it because, A, you don't need to do it. B, I'm not a chiropractor. And C, I don't really feel like giving my clients an internal decapitation, for
Yeah.
$65. And then, of course, hey, I saw this tool and, should I buy it? Can you work on my psoas? Because I think that's going to help my low back pain. Like this tool says it will. I think that's what you've been missing, Nate.
Okay, so do you think maybe a benefit of some of this stuff is that there is some uh, I don't know, maybe education about what massage may be capable of. So it may help reduce the fear of people that who are afraid to go to massage therapists. And these are kind of some of the extremes, the things that you're talking about, like, hey, I need you to use this tool on me. But somebody sees a video and they're like, oh, I didn't know a massage could do that. Whether it's true or not, but it may influence them to say, hey, maybe I should go get massage work done. Maybe could that be a benefit?
It could be. And at the end of the day, sometimes the way people phrase things to us, like our clients, right? All of our clients are in a vulnerable position on our tables. And whether we always realize it or not, and no matter how engaged or how whatever they are, right? They're in a vulnerable position. And you know what? Once in a while, a client has a belief because of something they heard or read. And I'm also not always going to take that away from them either. If they believe that, I don't know, releasing some sort of thing that they had when they were 10 years old and that's what they want to believe, cool. Let them feel that way. Or because of an influencer made them feel that way, or told them that that would happen, right? By working on my SOAS, are you releasing my soul into the third dimension? Sure. If that's how you feel, sure.
I've talked about it in the past where I had somebody bring the Ashley Black fascia blaster in and ask me to use it on her and all this stuff. But I think this also puts it puts an emphasis on massage therapists being able to be educated enough to say, "Hey, I know what you're talking about," and that stuff can work, but it's based on intake, evaluations, assessments, which that video you saw, they did no type of assessment on you. So therefore, it could help you. It could also not help you. So I think there's a big burden on massage therapists to, you know, be careful about the information that's out there. I don't know. What
Sure.
say you?
Well, I'm just going to jump into a answer that somebody gave us to go along with this. So one of our avid listeners says, I think there is a fair portion, that group that is spreading information that has no basis, fact, or reality. And if one utilized critical thinking, they would see right through it. So I think that kind of goes exactly what you were just saying, right? And unfortunately, Ben, as she says, as Wendy says, our feeds are full of this stuff. And, you know, hopefully, if we don't engage it, the algorithm will change, but we know that's just not going to be the case. And then, Wyatt, our good friend Wyatt from Nebraska says, same kind of thing. Dangerously incomplete and incomprehensive. And a little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing when people are looking for that short video. He says 90-second video, which I think is great too. Blurb to explain their lifetime of physical conditions. And people don't get the entire picture and tend to run with the ideas. And that's just another thing too. That's a great point by Wyatt because yeah, man, people have a lifetime of issues and influencers have led people to believe that it could be fixed quickly.
Well, think about this. We're looking at this through the glasses of healthcare professionals, massage therapists.
Sure.
But think about the person who has chronic headaches. Their feed is going to be full of quick fixes on how to help your headaches. And are they necessarily going to have the knowledge to be able to use critical thinking to say, well, that's a bunch of crap? Because they don't have the knowledge and the experience, the anatomy knowledge, that kind of thing. So
Right.
why aren't they going to try it?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know about your region, but just a brief history of New England here. Legalization of THC started in Massachusetts around 2014 or 15. Connecticut most recently a few years ago, but sort of in between all that was the CBD craze. So as THC became a little bit, has, more legality throughout the country in the States, the offshoot of it, CBD. And there was about a year, probably 2018 or 19, where CBD cured everything. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So you bring up the case of headaches, and all my clients that came in with chronic headaches, man, I'm taking CBD and I'm so much better. 6 months later, the craze died.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a headache today, Nate. Can I come and see you? It was totally forgotten about. And people spent a lot of money on that. And just like, right, did you get harassed by companies wanting you to sell it and use CBD massage cream in your practice?
Well, it's not legal here yet to do that. But yes, I did get my fair share of
Good Lord.
yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, at the end of the day, the way I see it, Ben, is that the crazes go away, the fads go away, influencers come and go, and amazing therapists that are listening to us are still existing, still doing their thing.
I tried to explain this to somebody who was trying to create a video that was going to go viral. And they were trying to create this video based on gaming the system. Oh, if I make a video, and you see tons of these where somebody, I don't know, they they hook you in and you're waiting for them to finally finish this thing, and 2 minutes later they still haven't finished, and oh man, those videos drive me nuts. But trying to game the system never works, in my opinion, if you are honest about what you do and you put in your time and you like what we're doing. We're showing up every day. We're not, we maybe, we don't know everything, but we're doing the best we can with what we know. And we're just putting out, we're being honest with ourselves. We're being honest with the people out there. I think that's the way to, I don't know, present yourself on social media.
Absolutely. And I mean, the as this guy John Gibbons I like says, the old school and the new school. And the new school is just really not doing anything. It's the old school stuff that just kind of keeps, tried and true to everything. And yeah, that's the way it is. And that's kind of what I believe. How about the old fable, right? What's one of the most famous fables? Aesop's most famous fable. The tortoise and the hare, man.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. That story was written about 7,000 years ago.
All right. Well, here's what I want to ask to our listeners. Who do you trust online and why do you trust them? What are the things that make you want to trust them? And so I feel like our audience is a little bit more educated as far as it goes with influencers and health professional influencers. But where do you draw the line between education and entertainment? Like you said before, you strap this contraption to somebody's head and say, "Turn your belly into jelly," and then they yank and hope for the best that the lights don't go off completely, that kind of thing. Um,
Ha- yeah. Have you seen? There's actually a new trend, a new, and part of this now too, actually, man, we're saying we should only do 30 or 35-minute episodes, but we're still going to try to do that, give or take. I think this is going to be our ABMP episode winner, Ben, by the way. I
nice.
think episode 54 is gonna win. So there's this new trend, and I've seen primarily it's interesting, like they get right. So we're starting to see doctors become Instagram influencers. There's a neurosurgeon that I follow, guys out of New York, Brian. Of course, here I am. I'm saying I listen to him and I can't even think of the guy's last name. But he's a neurosurgeon out of upstate New York, and he's a social media influencer, over 1 million followers, and he educates the public about low back pain and low back surgeries. Interestingly enough, this guy is probably what I would consider your least suspecting influencer because he's, a little bit older than us. He's kind of nerdy and he speaks, about common stuff, right? So it's nothing flashy at all. People love his content. He's actually an influencer to the question that you want to ask people, he's actually an influencer that I find very educational and I learn a lot from. But anyway, there's a new trend going around and it's kind of having to do with like supplements. And so they ask a doctor, like scale of 1 to 10, and they fall into a line of supplements that are maybe for anti-aging. And they list out, you know what I'm talking about, right? So they list off 10 supplements that are in the field of anti-aging. And this guy gives him a rating between 1 and 10. Pretty interesting stuff, right? And I'm seeing that now with foods, right? This whole idea of superfoods is kind of coming back. Um, so anyway,
Yeah, like you said, it's trends, it's ways to present information in a different way, probably the same information that's been presented before, but we're just packaging it a different way, a different style
sure.
of entertainment for people. Um, but this neurosurgeon that you're talking about, like I feel like, he didn't start out as an influencer and then became a neurosurgeon. He was a
Yeah,
neurosurgeon who is just passionate about what he does. Like, hey, maybe I should share some of what I do on the internets.
yeah.
And it just, and some people are just, they just have that, mm, they have that thing that makes people want to gravitate toward them. Um, and
Ryan Hofflinger, if I'm saying his name right.
okay,
So if he's listening right now, I like you.
yeah. And Nate's our front man, so he's who we put in the front. He has that thing, and so that's why that's why we put him in the front because people
Yeah.
like listening to Nate. I mean, I like to back Nate up, so that's my job. Is I play rhythm or maybe bass, something like
Oh,
that.
stop, stop. You stop. But, but here's the thing though, too, Ben. Rating supplements and rating foods that are good for your gut health, good for your brain health, good for anti-inflammation, things like that. That's probably a safer and a little bit more whitewashed of an influencing thing for people because, man, someone going out and buying some D3, K2, or putting honey and lemon in their tea in the morning, that's harmless. You probably should be doing that stuff anyway. You don't necessarily need a doctor to tell you on Instagram. So I look at that as less harmful influencing.
And they're not directly selling that stuff. They're just
Right.
rating, what is, you know, 0 to 10. What about this? It's kind of a rapid fire thing. They're not saying,
Totally.
oh, you can order this here through me.
And so I actually almost think that that type of influencing, Ben, can help people. So I'm going to give that stuff a positive rating.
Cool. So then how do we implement that into the massage industry? So that's your challenge. If you're an influencer out there listening to us trying to get ideas, I want you to do the quick fire rating 0 through 10.
Well,
Maybe
I'll
maybe
tell
we'll
you what,
just do a
Ben,
should we do a couple quick with um
let's do it.
Mr. Nate? All right.
Let's
0
you
to
and I.
10.
So hold on, before we do
All right.
this, we got a couple ground rules.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do a 0 to 10. We're gonna do a Spitfire. Ben, we're gonna edit this down and make a reel out of it, and I guarantee it goes viral. This is our viral video right here.
Okay.
And let's do, how many do you want to do? You want to do five?
Let's do 5, yes.
All right. So now with the rules here, I'll give a rating and maybe just a few word description of each. We're going to keep this simple the way they do it.
And I'm coming up with trying to come up with some of mine. Oh,
All right. So we're doing this live, folks. Ben's writing some stuff down now. And we're going to do this. So hang tight if you're listening, if you're mowing your lawn, if you're doing the dishes listening to us. We got some commercial music going now.
okay. All right. I think I've got a good list. So Nate, we want to talk to you about this is going to be our social media reel for all of you listening. So Nate, we want to talk to you and get your impression on some approaches to massage therapy, some different techniques and approaches. So I want to get your thoughts 0 to 10 on these techniques and approaches.
Ready.
So rapid fire, not necessarily rapid fire, but here we go. Myofascial release.
I'm gonna give that I'm gonna go 6 on that. And I'm just gonna simply say that myofascial release has too many different definitions. Too many approaches, but I'm going to stick with a 6 because it's a better term for clients to ask for than deep tissue massage.
Nice. Okay, next one. Essential oils for helping with chronic pain.
I'm going to give that a 2, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Excellent. All right, next one is kinesiology tape.
Okay, I'm going to give, oh man, I'm going to go 4. Colorful, patterns look great. Maybe can change pain modulation, how the brain thinks about pain, but just a way to make people look colorful.
Trigger point therapy.
I'm going to give trigger point therapy. I'm going to go 7 on that. I think it's a better way for clients to ask for a certain type of massage than deep tissue massage. And while trigger point therapies, the definition of what a trigger point is has gotten beat up over the years, I think it's relatable and I think it's helpful work if done right.
Graston technique or scraping. We'll call it scraping.
I'm going to give it a 1. I don't think damaging superficial tissue causing petechia or anything like that causes any sort of change in how a client feels. And the tools are expensive, and you can do it with a spoon and get the same result, which is nothing.
And a spoon is cheaper. There you have it, folks. Nate's take on those 5 approaches.
There you go. I'm gonna do. Let's flip it, Ben. I want to do this with you. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So cue commercial. All right. Cue commercial music. I'm gonna go 5. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go for it here. I'm gonna give you a couple hard ones, Ben.
I know you're gonna give me anxiety about how much I don't know.
Okay, here we go. 5 questions, 0 to 10. This is our influencing video. Okay. Assessments.
Ooh, assessments. I'm going to give that a 9 because I think it's very important to know what you're working with before you start working.
Okay. Giving your clients education at the end of a session. Stretch and exercise.
I am also going to give that a 9, but it's also going to depend on compliance and also education of the practitioner, but I'll give it a 9.
Okay. Light touch, maybe Swedish massage.
I will also give that a little bit higher score. I'm going to give that a 6.5.
Okay. Any reason why, or that's that?
I'm just going to leave that one at that's that because there's a lot of reasons, and I could talk for probably 30 minutes on the benefits.
Fair enough. Hot stone massage.
Oh, man. I'll give it a 4.5 just because it feels good. As far as therapeutic value, meh.
Okay. And last but not least, this is an easy one, listening to your client.
I haven't given a 10 yet, but I think I'm going to go 10 on that one because I talk about that one so much. Intake, assessment, history, all that stuff. So important.
Well, Ben, that was fun, man. And I think you and I just came up with an offshoot Instagram thing for you and I to do.
Yeah. Now step 2 is to come up with an Instagram account. We're going to start our social media expansion in 2026 from Facebook. We're going to go into Instagram. I don't know if we'll go into TikTok or not, but we got to start slow.
Well, Ben Stone, episode 54, hands down, this we didn't even hit the stop button. I think this just became one of my favorite episodes that we've done.
Already, give me a big takeaway. What hit you the most as you look back on this episode?
Well, what hit me the most is there's a lot of nonsense out there, but the noise that's out there, at the end of the day, it really just doesn't matter. It goes away. And once in a while, a good influencer comes along and gets 1 million followers for the right reason. How about you?
How about me? I'm looking back at the question, and are these social media influencers or experts helping the profession grow or spreading information? Uh, I'm gonna say it's not helping the profession grow, but I don't know that it's hurting it too much. So I'm kind of in the middle. That's where I'm gonna sit right now.
Hey, Ben Stone, thanks for hanging with episode 54, buddy.
Episode 54, Nate. If people like what we're doing, tell them how they can support the show.
Well, all we want you to do is like our Facebook page, Ben and Nate's Questions That We Ask People, massage therapists on the internet, and listen to us. Podcast, Spotify, Apple, however you like to listen to us, and throw us a review on those episodes. We would love that.
Absolutely. And just again, we want to thank Wyatt and Wendy for interacting with this question. So if you guys interact in the future, we're gonna
Yeah, thanks, guys.
we'll throw out your names. We'll give you your comeuppance, and hopefully we hear from you in future episodes.
That's right. See you for episode 55.
Thanks for listening.